Hi, and good morning, everyone. My name is Albert, and I look a little like Curly. Because of the hair or whatever, but no, let's scratch that. Hi, and good morning, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy morning to join me. I really do appreciate that. I want to talk today about how I feel like, I don't want to come out and say it at some point in the vlog. I probably will, but I'm going to try and not, just to see if I can come up with any other conclusion as to what I think the reasoning is behind all of the distractions that notable people like Kash Patel, the wannabe Kumar. He's not as cool, right? Obviously, and they look a lot alike. And interesting thing is Kumar is a really intelligent guy and actually did work for Barack Obama in his presidency as a member of his cabinet. So shout out to Kumar, because I don't know if it's Harold or Kumar. Anyways, one of them, both of them are extremely talented dudes. One of them is a little more politically involved than the other. Anyways, true story. And how many of us out there absolutely despise Kash Patel? How many of us, have even ever lived a part of our life knowing the name of the sitting CIA director? I mean, again, not to bring it up or anything, but he isn't white. And, if they had anybody at all to sort of relay all the worst news out in the world, it'd probably be some brown guy, I'm just saying, right? Just because, there's Jeffrey Epstein and Charlie Kirk, and now the latest scandal that we're all led to believe, and is currently trending everywhere, right, is the mind-blowing notion that professional athletes gamble. Again, alright, so here's the thing, why can't, and I'll pose it as this, right? Let's postulate this very interesting and unique situation that we got without bringing up the R word that ends in ist. Again, I've been trying not to go that way, right? Just because I want to believe that it's anything else. Maybe some simple bigotry, maybe some simple fascist, maybe some simple hate, I take any of those three over the R word that ends in ist. But okay, so what kind of good does it do to arrest a head coach and to charge other persons with gambling? So here's the thing, all right? Shout out to the Italian mob, all the families out there who continue to make this country a safe place, a place where, at least they're doing what they can to fight the fascists. But at the end of the day, I say this, and I mean it, but I bring it up because, gambling, have you guys heard of the Black Sox scandal, right? Have you heard of the Michigan Wolverines scandal with the Big Five in the 90s? So many athletes have gone down for gambling. We won't even bring up, what is it? It's not Pinella, but the guy that did not make the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame because of his love for the gambling, Anyway, that guy, great baseball player from what I hear, an absolute Richard, but not able to be a part of something. It's like being in jail for possessing weed, It's kind of like, what kind of shit is that, It's sort of like, there are so many people, again, my young people out there, this is just another example of systemic racism. It only took not even 5 minutes, but we had to get there, right? And I'm just saying, because that's what it is. You live in a world where marijuana is, it's not federally deregulated, and technically speaking, if the fascists wanted to, they could raid every single dispensary ever. Oh God, I don't want to give the fascists any ideas, Anyways, holy potatoes. I wonder if he's ever gonna reschedule that drug and or decrim it and or make it legal, if you're pandering on over to any, constituents, good old Sir, Mr. President man, let's bargain here. Maybe make weed legal and release all of the, oh wait, it won't happen. And I'll tell you why, right? Okay, but we can ask, worst they can say is no and continue to go on a hiring spree to find out who, is either willing to snitch on their neighbors or just, whoever is 6 foot tall and white, come put on this ice jacket and let's go round some people up. Anyways, wow, what a hateful, awful world that I'm describing, right? But let's get back to that systemic racism thing, right? And how, historically speaking, I just feel like this government picks on certain groups of people, you feel me? And including the most recent case, and that's just what this video is about. What a bunch of nonsense. Alright, seriously. We all know, that people gamble. We all know that the mafia, is in charge of that. And by the way, again, shout out for efficiency and very pro-business in that I'd rather deal with them any day than DraftKings, you know what I mean? Seriously, at least they're a human being and, they have some principles and some ethics, right? And all they're interested in is business. DraftKings wants your soul, They want you to end up in, rehab, all at the cost of, I don't know, if you're white, maybe good credit. If you're black and brown, then I guess, in and out of the emergency room you go, my friend. Well, we can all argue the ethics of whether or not incarceration is a place to house individuals that have mental health conditions or illnesses as a direct result of how the government treats you, But again, so I ask myself, right, so there's gotta be rich white guys sitting around some country club, you feel me? And they got buds that are playing in the PGA, and they're like, hey, Jimmy, you feel me? You mind if I drop 50K on this over and under on your guess for par, or however golf people talk? You know what I mean? And to think that we know this, even my dumb ass knows this, but all the while, you feel me, the ones that are getting picked on are a group of black men. Again, what? Again, shout out to the fascist president who also in the early 90s was responsible, from what I believe, in the ultimate conviction of a group of black young men in Central Park who were tried and convicted of murder, only to have been vindicated of all those charges in the future because, well, they didn't do it. And I guess, it's interesting. All of the things that we talk about here are interesting, and I think it's interesting that we have things like Jeffrey Epstein, which mostly involves a bunch of rich old white guys, that's what it mostly involves. Was anybody on that island that wasn't rich and white? I'm pulling strings in my mind. And no offense to white people, you feel me? This isn't reverse racism, I am anti-fascist, I'm anti-racist. It's just, can we not talk about how the government continues to just pick on, certain groups of people? Okay, to be fair, and I did mention it earlier, KASH Patel was also on my FYP earlier this week because he was trying to lie some more about whatever happened to Charlie Kirk, you know what I mean? But false flag. This guy literally, is gotta be one of the worst actors that I have ever seen in my life. Trust me, and I have seen some bad actors, all of which, and including but not limited to your boy here, Anyways, I'm just saying, right, that I feel like it's interesting that KASH Patel, the CIA, like, how can they figure out, you know, these 5-year cases of gambling, you know, like, and then that's the other thing, is like, shouldn't we ask ourselves the question, like, how long should the government let potential crimes go undetected until one day they're like, oh, okay, we're going to pull that racist card, you know? Trump's in office now, I guess it's time. We need to distract people. Chauncey Billups, right? The head coach for the Portland Trailblazers that got arrested. One of my favorite basketball players of all time. Super underrated. Like, of all the players, you feel me? I mean, is it not fair to say that, like, you know, Patrick Mahomes and or LeBron James probably gamble too? And again, like, that's not... Gambling is legal in sports. Why is it that only the owners of the team, people that have, like, crazy conflicts of interest, you feel me? Like, how is it that they can circumvent the lack of whatever regulation there isn't in that particular industry to usurp other laws? And, you know, I'm sure of it. Like, we all know it. And again, like, so why can't players, like, if gambling, this is, again, the problem with gambling in sports, my friends, is that there's a conflict of interest. Anytime there's competition, you feel me, there's always going to be conflict of interest. And it's, like, up to the people and or the participants, right? The people that are organizing these kinds of things, such as, like, the NBA and the NFL, organizations that were staunchly against organized gambling up until, you know, Dr. Doom, not Dr. Doom, Lex Luthor, right? The bald guy. The opposite of Professor X, even though they all kind of look the same, you feel me? Definitely not the guy from Star Trek, who also is a taller, bald, white guy. You know, I'm just saying, like, they all may look alike, you feel me? But only one of them is, like, the real Lex Luthor. And anyways, I guess... there's other candidates out there for that particular job. Jeff Bezos comes to mind. And I can't understand. There's so many other problems in the world, including the Epstein stuff. Like, including figuring out what happened to Charlie Kirk. And, like, also discussing that Mr. Kash Patel is himself responsible for being in contempt and probably has purged himself more times than... and again, you got to think about it in a tactical strategy kind of a way. Like, do you see any other forerunning, like, leadership positions out there sort of, like, trying... Again, at the end of the day, he's responsible for what he says. You feel me? Even if it's not true. And this is how, you know, the law is interpreted here, so far as I know. Again, I'm just a stupid man. Please don't listen to me at all about anything I say. I'm just saying that I low-key, no cap, think it's kind of weird and or perhaps a larger symptom of system or, like, institutional racism that we continue to have conversations about things that are redundant in nature. Again, like, discussing whether or not players and or athletes involved in these sports and or the coaches and or the teams, all of the people involved, you know, like, can't gamble, you know, but everyone else can gamble on them. Again, like, there's too many conflicts of interest, and we will see this as this proceeds on into the future. And moreover, people are quickly losing interest in all organized sports, just throwing that out there, including people like myself who have loved organized sports, you know, not just as a participant, but as a spectator, absolutely. And really, you know, even my small brain can't wrap my head around the idea that when I plant my ass down on a couch to watch a football game, that the likelihood that that football game has already been predetermined in its outcome and almost down to the very details of anything at all that can be controlled, with the exception of, like, maybe some guy tripping randomly and not gaining a single yard. I mean, again, there aren't very many ways to even think that you can win, you know, anymore when it comes to placing those kinds of bets. And it's just too much of a script, you know? And I get enough of that, you feel me? And in fact, I'm a break character. Hey guys, I really appreciate y'all watching my videos here. Yesterday was a really busy day for me. I've been trying to get some sleep, but I kind of knew it was going to be a busy weekend, and I got to get right back out the door here in a little while. I'm so very grateful for these opportunities, and I know that people involved in my life, and perhaps even people that help to make decisions, about the things that I may or may not be doing in the future. I really appreciate all of the opportunity that I've been given. I'm a lucky guy, or I like to think that I am. I mean, I guess some could argue that, right? Just because, I'd like to have a good attitude. I might not be lucky all the time, but if something right goes in my life, just even once, you feel me? It's a lucky thing. I'm a lucky guy, and I'm very grateful for all the people that are helping me, become the person that I so desperately, need to be. And so I appreciate that. I'm actually, again, so I was wanting to make another video, but I'd prefer to make myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I was going to make a video last night, and then I fell asleep. So, I'm reporting to you guys how this happens to me in real time, which I think is a hell of a lot better than me not making videos for 3 days and then just, sleeping for another 2 and then talking about it. So yeah, I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching my show, and yeah, it's my birthday weekend, so hopefully it's a peaceful and safe weekend, you feel me? I am sure that it will be. I got some awesome friends currently, and so yeah, I'm a lucky guy. Have a really good day, everyone. My name is Albert. Thanks for watching my show, and again, I think it's kind of weird that they're picking on the black people in professional sports for gambling when I'm sure it's not just a black problem. Again, I strongly encourage those that are watching these videos, right? Have the conversation. Let's look into the PGA, man. Let's look into let's not look into soccer again. Jesus, let's look into baseball. That's one that we can look into baseball. All right. You guys have a really good day. Thanks again for watching my show. All right. Bye.